Right now, one of the biggest conversations among Nollywood movie lovers has to be the incredible popularity of Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam whenever they appear together on screen. Because at this point, many fans have started saying that it is almost impossible for a movie featuring these two stars to go unnoticed online. And the interesting part is that this did not happen overnight, because their rise as one of the most talked about on-screen pairs has been building gradually through several movie appearances. That kept giving viewers more reasons to pay attention, and every time a new project drops, people immediately begin discussing their scenes before they even finish watching the entire movie, which is something that does not happen with every actor and actress pairing in the industry. And that is exactly why so many people keep asking the same question: why does every movie featuring Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam go viral so quickly? And what exactly makes their partnership so special compared to everyone else currently dominating Nollywood screens? And honestly, the answer seems to be a combination of chemistry, consistency, timing, and the way they make viewers emotionally invested in their stories, because whenever these two appear together it never feels forced, and it never feels like they are simply reading lines from a script. Instead, fans often describe their performances as natural, believable, and effortless, which immediately pulls audiences into whatever story they are trying to tell. And once viewers become emotionally connected to characters, they naturally start sharing clips, creating discussions and replaying scenes online, which helps those movies gain even more attention across social media platforms. And one thing fans constantly talk about is the fact that some of their most romantic movie moments remain unforgettable long after the credits roll, because there have been several scenes over the years that people still reference whenever discussions about Nollywood chemistry come up. And what makes those moments stand out is not necessarily dramatic dialogue or extravagant storytelling, but rather the subtle details such as eye contact, facial expressions, body language, and the way they react to each other during emotional scenes, because many viewers believe those small details reveal a level of comfort that cannot easily be faked. And that is why certain romantic scenes involving Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam continue getting replayed repeatedly by fans who feel there is something uniquely captivating about the connection they create on screen. And as a result, many of those scenes have become some of the most replayed moments from their movies, because audiences keep returning to them whenever conversations about favorite Nollywood couples arise. And this naturally leads to another reason why their films gain so much attention, because every new project seems to strengthen the belief among viewers that these two share one of the strongest on-screen partnerships in the industry. And whether those beliefs are accurate or not is ultimately less important than the fact that audiences genuinely enjoy watching them together, because entertainment is largely about making viewers feel something, and Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam have consistently managed to do exactly that, which explains why so many fans have become invested in every interaction between them, and why each new movie quickly becomes a trending topic among viewers. And one particular reason many people started shipping Maurice Sam and Pearl Watts even harder was because certain films featured scenes that felt unusually realistic and authentic to audiences, because instead of relying entirely on grand romantic gestures, their characters often connected through simple conversations, meaningful looks, and emotionally charged moments that seemed relatable and believable. And when audiences feel that level of authenticity, they naturally become more attached to the pairing, which then fuels even more discussions online, and before long, entire communities of fans begin analyzing scenes, sharing opinions, and debating whether the chemistry is simply great acting or evidence of a deeper connection. And while nobody truly knows the answer to those speculations, the conversations themselves continue generating enormous attention for every project they appear in together. And perhaps one of the biggest turning points in the popularity of this pairing came from a scene that many fans still describe as the moment they became convinced the chemistry was real, because it contained all the ingredients viewers love: emotional tension, strong performances, believable reactions, and a connection that felt genuine enough to leave audiences talking long after the movie ended. And whether that perception was accurate or simply the result of excellent acting does not really matter, because what matters is that the scene succeeded in creating an emotional response. And once that happened, fans started paying closer attention to every interaction between them in future projects, which only increased the level of excitement surrounding their collaborations. And over time, that excitement transformed Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam into one of Nollywood's most talked about on-screen couples, because people were no longer watching solely for the story, they were also watching to see how these two actors would interact in each new movie. And that level of audience anticipation is extremely valuable because it creates built-in interest before a project is even released. And another fascinating aspect of their success is how their chemistry appears to have evolved over the years, because viewers often point out that their earliest collaborations already showed potential, but as they continued working together, their performances became even more natural and convincing, which makes sense, because actors who frequently collaborate usually develop stronger professional understanding and better communication, and many fans believe that growth is visible whenever they share scenes because they seem increasingly comfortable responding to each other's performances in ways that feel spontaneous rather than rehearsed, and that progression has played a major role in keeping audiences interested, because people enjoy watching partnerships evolve over time, and seeing that development unfold across multiple films has made many viewers feel even more connected to the pairing. And this also helps explain why directors continue pairing Maurice Sam and Pearl Watts together, because in the entertainment industry, producers and directors pay attention to audience reactions, and when a specific combination consistently generates engagement, positive feedback, and strong viewership numbers, it becomes an obvious choice for future projects, because filmmaking is both an artistic and commercial business, and successful pairings help attract audiences, so whenever viewers repeatedly demonstrate enthusiasm for seeing two actors together, it increases the likelihood that filmmakers will continue casting them in similar roles. And based on the reactions surrounding Pearl Watts and Maurice Sam, it is not difficult to understand why directors keep returning to that formula, because it has produced results time and time again, and perhaps the most remarkable thing about their partnership is that their on-screen romance feels different from many others, because instead of relying entirely on dramatic declarations of love or exaggerated emotional scenes, they often create memorable moments through subtle interactions and emotional authenticity, which makes their performances feel more relatable